Okay, so now I'm going to do a series of crash courses on the interface of Blender based on the discipline. Not so much about the tools as it is about where you'll find everything on the interface, just to get you oriented on where to go and where to find the various things. A lot of times people can sort stuff out on their own if they know where it is. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we'll do is modeling. And the first thing you want to do as a modeler is you want to start with a primitive, okay? And it's giving you the cube by default, so let's just get rid of that, because obviously you're more than likely not going to want to start with the cube. Usually the case, all right? So in Blender there's an X key to delete things, and you have to click again to commit to that, or X key and enter, right? You can also use the delete key. Delete key is like another option for that in Blender. Okay. All right. So we're deleting the cube, and then to add something, let's put the cursor to center again. To add something, there's three places to do it. There's a create menu over here, so you can create primitives, and then there is the add menu, where you can add primitives here. Excuse me. The same things as you can add up there, and then the Shift A menu, where you can add items that way. Okay, so let's Shift A and add a UV sphere. Okay, and so the parametric editing tools are here. Under Add UV Sphere, you'll see segments, right, and rings, and so on and so forth. So whenever you add a primitive, you'll find these options here. But as soon as you move the sphere or do any other kind of operations, you lose those. Those aren't live. They go away. They're not. It's not a part of a history like in Maya or like a stack in 3D Max, I think. So that's just something to be aware of. Anyway, so that's adding an item. So let's add another one. Let's just add a torus. Okay, so after you've added an item, you want to be able to edit it. So tab key cycles you in and out of edit mode. That's the basic keyboard shortcut you'll need to know for that. But it's also good to know that it's here as well. You have object mode, edit mode, and then other modes for different things you want to do. Okay? And so when you're in edit mode, you notice that this object mode that I talked about, or this object menu I talked about before, will change to the mesh menu. And so there's a lot of operations here you can learn how to use. All right, and then you also have there's two different menus. There's a Control E menu, which gives you more options that you won't find in other places, and then there's a W menu, which also gives you some options. Subdivide, flip, remove doubles, flip normals, and so on and so forth. Alright, so those are things to explore. Alright, so when you're editing an object, basically you need to first add the primitive, go into edit mode, and start editing it, right? With all kinds of different tools. Then, the other thing you want to know is which component you're working with. Right now, by default, it's set to points, so I'm able to drag these points around. Right, and then I'm going to change down here to the edge mode, and I can drag the edges. The next one over is faces. I can drag faces, and next to that there's an option to be able to see the back sides and edit the back sides. So let's go back to point mode. Zoomed in here, you can probably see that on the video. I'm reaching behind the other side of the sphere. Okay, and it's particularly in edit mode, you're going to want to know about the period key on your numpad, and just hit that and it'll zoom in on a component so that when you want to edit in a particular area, you'll be able to zoom around that particular spot. Okay, so moving right to left, we got that background, I covered that, and the next one is the proportional edit tool. We'll set that to connected. I can go over to this tool later, but that's where this is. Proportional editing is there, right? So how you use that tool can be covered in another video, but that's where you'll find that. So let's disable that. And you got snapping, which also works in edit mode. All right, so I covered snapping before, but that could be covered separately for this.